Welcome to the Millionaire Book Club. My name is Pearlie Hunter. With me every single morning do include personal development, mindset transformations, paradigm shifts, and the ability to think your way to success. So this is our very first pre-recorded live. I am super excited to be providing this for y'all. Super blessed, super grateful. This is a live for July 2nd, 2021. I will be working, so I won't be able to go live. But how awesome is it that I can still provide my presence, right? So drop me something that you're grateful for in the chat. I will go back and read the comments. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for this day. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for my parents. I'm grateful for my children. I'm grateful for my spouse. I'm grateful for another day to be alive and serving my purpose. I'm grateful for nature. I'm grateful for love. I'm grateful for light. I'm grateful for joy. I'm grateful for peace. I'm just so grateful for everything and everyone all the time, right? I purposely keep myself in that space, right? I want to stay on a high vibration, high frequency all the time, right? Because it's a choice at all times. So drop me something that y'all grateful for. I'm going to get this daily word read. Let's see what we got. July 2nd. So the daily word for Friday, July 2nd is protected, okay? The presence and power of God surround me and I feel protected. Every person on earth is an individual here to make a unique contribution to the world. At the same time, each person is a member of the human family and a child of God. I remember this at times. I feel vulnerable and alone. There is nowhere I can be that is outside of God. Enfolded within this oneness, I feel safe and protected no matter what comes my way. Seeing myself and all other people as divine beings helps me take comfort from the presence of others. I am free to ask for help and support, knowing the unconditional love of God is expressed through the care and support of my fellow human beings. My protection comes from my awareness of my oneness with God. I hereby command you, be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9. Okay, so protected. I am protected. I am connected. I love when we have that one. That's definitely an affirmation that I say a lot every single day. I am protected. I am connected. I am divine. I am supreme. I am worthy. I am blessed, well blessed. I like to say well blessed, right? So let's pull a card. Pull us a card. I'm pulling from the Four Agreements deck by Don Miguel Ruiz, the fifth book we read. So drop in the comments what y'all think about the new setup, right? Y'all like this new little setup? This is the evening read, the pre-recorded read setup. I was so excited to bust this out. I've been had it, but I was so excited to bust this out. This is a change, so why not have a change of scenery, right? You don't got to do the books and the going into heaven, right? Like I normally have the background. All right, so we got one. Let's see. Oh, you know what? This is the one we got this morning. That's so funny. Let me find a different one. This is the one we got this morning. So this is like, I love these challenges, right? I'm sitting up here missing my people, but I know y'all gonna watch tomorrow and leave me y'all good comments and that good energy. So I'm grateful. Let's see these cards. What? Spirit said you are up. Here we go. Oh my God, y'all. If this wasn't the card from today, I don't know what was. Both of the cards that I already pulled, you know, because this pre-recorded, I pulled these this morning. Both came out again. Wow. What time is it? I need to know the time. 5:47. All right. I'll get to it. Here we go. All right. So we got a don't take anything personally. Your truth is personal to you. And this is what the card looks like. Your own opinions and point of view reflect your own agreements and are personal to you. It is no one's truth but yours. Okay? Your own opinions and point of view reflect your own agreements and are personal to you. It is no one's truth but yours. And then on the flip side, we got don't take anything personally, another one. Become immune to poison. Okay? Become immune to poison. The whole world can gossip about you, and if you don't take it personally, you are immune. Immunity to poison in the middle of hell is the gift of the second agreement. Wow. Become immune. Don't take anything personally. I like that one. All right, perfect. So let's jump into this read. No time to waste. No time to waste. I don't got no tea today, but I do got a little water. Uh-oh. Got a little water. So we are finishing up chapter 2. We are starting on page 31, and it starts with reverse internal negativity. Okay, so this morning, the read was powerful. It was great. It gave us a whole bunch of stuff about negative people, ways to characteristics and traits of negative people, right? The way they think, things like that. And you can use the list to identify that within yourself so you can grow. And you can also use that list to identify it with those people that you surround yourself with. That way, you know how to approach them. You know how to control your energy when you're around them, and you can prepare for it instead of walking into a situation where you're feeling caught off guard or reacting to circumstances or reacting to things that you didn't want to react to. And if you thought about this first, had some intention with this person first, then you would have been able to, protect your energy better. So I want to just briefly read off the 6 peeps that he was talking about, the 6 types of negative people, okay? You got your complainers, your cancelers, your casualties, your critics, your commanders, your competitors, and your controllers, okay? So if you don't know what those are or what that means, definitely go back and watch the read from July 1st, right? And if you got the book, you can definitely go to the book on page 26, and then that's where that starts, types of negative people. But we're starting on page 30. If I say something that resonates with you, please drop an MOC in the chat. Let me know what your MOC was. And I'll definitely get back with you. MOCs is a way for me to gauge that you are taking value from this. You're not asleep. You having those light bulb moments, and ultimately you're growing, right? You're growing from coming here every single day. Oh, that's my tablet going off. Give me 1 second, y'all. That's my tablet. That's my big brother calling me. Okay. Perfect. All right, let's get this read started. Reverse internal negativity. Working from the outside in is the natural way of decluttering. Once we recognize and begin to neutralize the external negativities, we become better able to see our own negative tendencies and begin to reverse them. Sometimes we deny responsibility for the negativity that we ourselves put out in the world. But negativity doesn't always come from other people, and it isn't always spoken aloud. Envy, complaint, anger, it's easy to blame those around us for a culture of negativity. But purifying our own thoughts will protect us from the influence of others. In the ashram, our aspirations for purity were so high that our competition came in the form of renunciation. I eat less than that monk. I meditated longer than everyone else. But a monk has to laugh at himself if the last thought he has at the end of the meditation is, Look at me. I outlasted them all. If that's where he arrived, then what was the point of the meditation? In the monastic way, a compilation of quotes edited by Hannah Ward and Jennifer Wild, Sister Christine Vladimirov says, in a monastery, the only competition allowed is to outstrip each other in showing love and respect. Competition breeds envy. In the Mahabharata, an evil warrior envies another warrior and wants him to lose all he has. The evil warrior hides a burning block of coal in his robes, planning to hurl it at the object of his envy. Instead, it catches fire, and the evil warrior himself is burned. His envy makes him his own enemy. Envy's catty cousin is Schadenfreude, which means taking pleasure in the suffering of others. Listen, if you know how that word was supposed to be pronounced and I butchered it like that, excuse me, okay? I'm sorry. When we derive joy from other people's failures, we're building our houses and pride on the rocky foundations of someone else's perfection or bad luck. Did y'all hear that? When we derive joy from other people's failures, we're building our houses and pride on the rocky foundations of someone else's imperfection or bad luck. That is not a steady ground. In fact, when we find ourselves judging others, we should take note. It's a signal that our minds are tricking us into thinking we're moving forward, when in truth, we're stuck. If I sold more apples than you did yesterday, but you sold more today, this says nothing about whether I'm improving as an apple seller. The more we define ourselves in relation to the people around us, the more lost we are. Okay, so free yourself from comparison, comparing what you have to what somebody else has, to what someone else has, or where you're going compared to where someone else has been, right? Because you're totally different, right? We may never completely purge ourselves of envy, jealousy, greed, lust, anger, pride, and illusion, but that doesn't mean we should ever stop trying. In Sanskrit, the word anartha generally means things not wanted. And to practice anartha, nirviti, is to remove that which is unwanted. We think freedom means being able to say whatever we want. Okay? We think freedom means being able to say whatever we want. We think freedom means that we can pursue all our desires. Real freedom is letting go of things not wanted, the unchecked desires that lead us to unwanted ends. Letting go doesn't mean wiping away negative thoughts, feelings, and ideas completely. The truth is that these thoughts will always arise. It is what we do with them that makes the difference. The neighbor's barking dog is an annoyance. It will always interrupt you. The question is how you guide that response. The key to real freedom is self-awareness. In your evaluation of your own negativity, keep in mind that even small actions have consequences. Even when we become more aware of others' negativity and say, she's always complaining, we ourselves are being negative. At the ashram, we slept under mosquito nets. Every night we closed our nets and used flashlights to confirm that they were clear of bugs. One morning, I woke up to discover that a single mosquito had been in my net, and I had at least 10 bites. I thought of something the Dalai Lama said. If you think you are too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. Petty, negative thoughts and words are like mosquitoes. Even the smallest ones can rob us of our peace, right? So it's the little things, because you'll think, especially, on this journey, like you improving, you doing better, but you like, but I'm not doing this the way they do it. It don't matter if you giving out negative energy, no matter how little it is or how almost correct it might be, if it's not of a higher frequency, is not an energy that you want to even harbor or give off, right? And that takes work. That takes time. That's what we all growing to and growing towards. Self-mastery. To not let the outside circumstances affect internal peace. It's okay if you're right now, currently, that's not a spot that you're at, but you're working towards it. So you are so many steps ahead of so many people. Spot, stop, swap. Most of us don't register our negative thoughts, much as I didn't register that soul mosquito. To purify our thoughts, monks talk about the process of awareness, addressing and amending. I like to remember this as spot, stop, swap. First, we become aware of a feeling or issue, right? First, we become aware of a feeling or issue. We spot it. Then we pause to address what the feeling is and where it comes from. We stop to consider it. And last, we amend our behavior. We swap in a new way of processing the moment. Spot, stop, swap, right? So in the moment when you're going through something, if you can remember to do these 3 little things, it's not even probably, you're going to get better at responding instead of reacting, right? Okay, I've identified a problem. How am I feeling about it, right? And why am I feeling this way? Then swap it, right? All right, spot. Becoming aware of negativity means learning to spot the toxic impulses around you. To help us confront our own negativity, our monk teachers told us to try not to complain, compare, or criticize for a week, and keep a tally of how many times we failed. The goal was to see the daily tally decrease. The more aware we became of these tendencies, the more we might free ourselves from them. Listing your negative thoughts and comments will help you contemplate their origins. Are you judging a friend's appearance, and are you equally hard on your own? Are you muttering about work without considering your own contribution? Are you reporting on a friend's illness to call attention to your own compassion, or are you hoping to solicit more support for that friend? Sometimes, instead of reacting negatively to what is, we negatively anticipate what might be. This is suspicion. There's a parable about an evil king who went to meet a good king. When invited to stay for dinner, the evil king asked for his plate to be switched with the good king's plate. When the good king asked why, the evil king replied, "You may have poisoned this food." The good king laughed. That made the evil king even more nervous, and he switched the plates again, thinking maybe he was being double bluffed. The good king just shook his head and took a bite of the food in front of him. The evil king didn't eat that night. What we judge or envy or suspect in someone else can guide us to the darkness we have within ourselves. The evil king projects his own dishonor onto the good king. In the same way, our envy or impatience or suspicion with someone else tells us something about ourselves. Negative projections and suspicions reflect our own insecurities and get in our way, right? Get in our own way, not their way. It get in our way because it's our energy that we're responsible for. If you decide your boss is against you, it can affect you emotionally. You might be so discouraged that you don't perform well at work, or practically, you won't ask for the raise you deserve. Either way, like the evil king, you're the one who will go hungry. Mm. Either way, you're the one that will go hungry. Okay? Stop. When you better understand the roots of your negativity, the next step is to address it. Silence your negativity to make room for thoughts and actions that add to your life instead of taking away from it. When we're stressed, we hold our breath or clench our jaws. We slump in defeat or tense our shoulders. Throughout the day, observe your physical presence. Is your jaw tight? Is your brow furrowed? These are signs that we need to remember to breathe, to loosen up physically and emotionally. Okay? So monitor yourself, right? One thing that I learned from Kevin Trudeau in his audio, he spoke about how when we got our feet on the ground, how is your feet on the ground? Are you pressing into the ground like it's about to move away from you? Or are you like calm and relaxed? You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to that stuff because it tells us about our emotions. The Bhagavad Gita refers to the austerity of speech, saying that we should only speak words that are truthful, beneficial to all, pleasing, and that don't agitate the minds of others. The Vaka Sutta from early Buddhist scriptures offers similar wisdom, defining a well-spoken statement as one that is spoken at the right time. It is spoken in truth. It is spoken affectionately. It is spoken beneficially. It is spoken with a mind of goodwill. Remember, saying whatever we want, whenever we want, however we want, is not freedom. Real freedom is not feeling the need to say these things. When we limit our negative speech, we may find that we have a lot less to say. We might even feel inhibited. Nobody loves an awkward silence, but it's worth it to free ourselves from negativity. Okay? So when we limit our negative speech, we may find that we have a lot less to say when we don't just react, but when we respond from our higher mind, from our higher self, not our ego person, right? That want to just go back and forth. Criticizing someone else's work ethic doesn't make you work harder. Comparing your marriage to someone else's doesn't make your marriage better unless you do so thoughtfully and productively. Judgment creates an illusion that if you see well enough to judge, then you must be better. That if someone else is failing, then you must be moving forward. In fact, it is careful, thoughtful observations that move us forward. Stopping doesn't mean simply shunning the negative instinct. Get closer to it. Australian community worker Neil Berringham said, "The grass is greener where you water it." Notice what's arousing your negativity over there on your frenemy's side of the fence, right? Do they seem to have more time, a better job, a more active social life? Because in the third step, swapping, you will want to look for seeds of the same on your turf and cultivate them. Okay? So basically what he is saying right here is if you have these feelings, if you harbor in feelings of jealousy, feelings of envy, feelings of, you know what I'm saying, these feelings towards other people, think about why. What is it about them? What do they have that you think you lack, right? And when you can identify that, then you can start working past it, right? Working through it instead of reacting to it in a negative way. The only way that we really have been taught, right? the way society does it, the way most people would do it, the way the masses do it. But to be a monk, that's not the masses, right? To be self-aware, that's not the masses. To be seeking a connection with your higher self, to operate as your higher self at all times, that's definitely not the masses, right? Okay. All right. For example, take your envy of someone else's social whirlwind and in it find the inspiration to host a party or get back in touch with old friends or organize an after work get together. It is important to find our significance, not from thinking other people have it better, but from being the person we want to be, right? Simply. All right. Spot, stop, and now we are on swap. After spotting and stopping the negativity in your heart, mind, and speech, you can begin to amend it. Most of us monks were unable to completely avoid complaining, comparing, and criticizing. And you can't expect you'll be completely cured of that habit either. Excuse me. But researchers have found that happy people tend to complain. Wait for it, mindfully. Okay? Happy people tend to complain. Wait for it, mindfully. While thoughtlessly venting complaints makes your day worse, it's been shown that writing in a journal about upsetting events, giving attention to your thoughts and emotions, can foster growth and healing, not only mentally, but also physically. Okay? We can be mindful of our negativity by being specific. When someone asks how we are, we usually answer good, okay, fine, or bad. Sometimes this is because we know a truthful, detailed answer is not expected or wanted, but we tend to be equally vague when we complain. Okay? We tend to be equally vague when we complain. We might say we're angry or sad when we're offended or disappointed. Instead, we can better manage our feelings by choosing our words carefully. Instead of describing ourselves as feeling angry, sad, anxious, hurt, embarrassed, and happy, the Harvard Business Review lists 9 more specific words that we could use for each one of these emotions. Instead of being angry, we might better describe ourselves as annoyed, defensive, or spiteful. Monks are considered quiet because they are trained to choose their words so carefully that it takes some time. We choose words carefully and use them with purpose, right? Because words are power. Words have life. Words are energy. So much is lost in bad communication. For example, instead of complaining to a friend who can't do anything about it that your partner always comes home late, communicate directly and mindfully with your partner. I clearly put them 2 words right together. Communicate directly and mindfully with your partner. You might say, I appreciate that you work hard and have a lot to balance. When you come home later than you promised, it drives me crazy. You could support me by texting me as soon as you know you're running late. When our complaints are understood by ourselves and others, they can be more productive. Okay, now I just got to pause here because that little spiel, that little scenario was very, very cute. But how does it really go, right? Wow, where you at? Blah, blah, blowing up the text, right? Calling the phone. Why you ain't tell me? Why this? Why that attitude, right? Wanting somebody to kiss your butt. Want them to figure it out, right? You don't know if they got stopped by a train. You don't know what happened. It's just about having that level of consideration, right? To choose, like, you know what? I don't know what happened, but I'm not going to let it affect the time that I am going to spend, right? With my spouse or with my friends. right? Yes, they a little late, but at least we still have time. Let's look at the cup half full instead of half empty. Okay. In addition to making our negativity more productive, we can deliberately swap in positivity. One way to do this, as I mentioned, is to use our negativity, like envy, to guide us to what we want. But we can also swap in new feelings. In English, we have the words empathy and compassion to express our ability to feel the pain that others suffer, but we don't have a word for experiencing vicarious joy, joy on behalf of other people. Perhaps this is a sign that we all need to work on it. Mudita is the principle of taking sympathetic or unselfish joy in the good fortune of others, right? So just celebrating somebody, acknowledging them, celebrating their greatness, right? Celebrating somebody else's greatness, acknowledging their greatness does not take away from yours. It does not dim your light in any way. Okay? If I only find joy in my own successes, I'm limiting my joy. But if I can take pleasure in the successes of my friends and family, 10, 20, 50 people, I get to experience 50 times the happiness and joy. Who doesn't want that? Right? And you can't do it from a place subconsciously where it's not genuine, right? This has to be genuine happiness for somebody. You can't just do it because, okay, we read and think like a monk. This is what you got to do to manifest, right? You can't do it like that. Or this is what you got to do to live a happy life and create a better life for yourself. It has to be genuine. Deep down, you have to really feel it, really be happy for people. And if you're not, right? And if you're not, that's one of those areas where you can spot, stop, and swap, right? Figure it out. The material world has convinced us that there are only a limited number of colleges worth attending, a limited number of good jobs available, a limited number of people who get lucky. In such a finite world, there's only so much success and happiness to go around. And whenever other people experience them, your chances of doing so decrease. But monks believe that when it comes to happiness and joy, there is always a seat with your name on it. In other words, you don't need to worry about someone taking your place. In the theater of happiness, there is no limit. Everyone who wants to partake in mudita can watch the show. With unlimited seats, there is no fear of missing out, right? In the theater of happiness, not the theater of competition, not the theater of envy, right? Not the theater of darkness, in the theater of happiness. It's limitless. Radhanta Swami is my spiritual teacher and the author of several books, including The Journey Home. I asked him how to stay peaceful and be a positive force in a world where there is so much negativity. He said, there is toxicity everywhere around us. In the environment, in the political atmosphere, but the origin is in people's hearts. Unless we clean the ecology of our own heart and inspire others to do the same, we will be an instrument of polluting the environment. Wow. We will be an instrument of polluting the environment, right? Because all this negativity that's around, we know we live in a negative society. We know it exists, but where is it coming from, right? It's coming from the people, right? So once we clean up, our world cleans up. And that's powerful. Unless we clean the ecology of our own heart and inspire others to do the same, we will be an instrument of polluting the environment. But if we create purity in our own heart, then we can contribute great purity to the world around us. Okay? So we got to try this on page 38. And this is our action, right? Our action steps. We need to do this, right? Because it doesn't make any sense to not. It don't make no sense to be reading this, to take in all this information, but not apply it. So let's see what the action is. Try this. Reverse envy. Make a list of 5 people you care about, but also feel competitive with. Come up with at least one reason that you're envious of each one. Something they've achieved, something they're better at, something that's gone well for them. Did that achievement actually take anything away from you? Now think about how it benefited your friend. Visualize everything good that has come to them from this achievement. Would you want to take any of these things away if you could? Even knowing that they would not come to you? If so, this envy is robbing you of joy. Envy is more destructive to you than whatever your friend has accomplished forming it. Right? That was good. Reverse envy, more action. I can't wait to do it, to try it. And we ain't trying nothing. We're going to get it done. It's a try this, but we don't try, right? We do. We take action. Okay. Kasama, amending anger. We've talked about strategies to manage and minimize the daily negativity in your life. But nuances like complaining, comparing, and gossip can feel manageable next to bigger negative emotions like pain and anger. We all harbor anger in some form. Anger from the past or anger at people who continue to play a big role in our lives. Anger at misfortune. Anger at the living and the dead. Anger turned inward. When we are deeply wounded, anger is often part of the response. Anger is a great flaming ball of negative emotion. And when we cannot let it go, no matter how we try, the anger takes on a life of its own. The toll is enormous. I want to talk specifically about how to deal with anger we feel toward other people. Kasama is Sanskrit for forgiveness. It suggests that you bring patience and forbearance to your dealings with others. Sometimes we have been wounded so deeply that we can't imagine how we might forgive the person who hurt us. But contrary to what most of us believe, forgiveness is primarily an action we take within ourselves. Sometimes it's better and safer and healthier not to have direct contact with the person at all. Other times, the person who hurt us is no longer around to be forgiven directly. But those factors don't impede forgiveness because it is, first and foremost, internal. It frees you from anger, right? So a lot of people feel like when they forgiving somebody, they doing something for the other person. You're not doing it for them, right? You're not doing them no favors, right? You're doing it for you. Because please believe, just like they got that thing going on with you that they need to be forgiven for, they got a whole lot of other stuff that's going on to where your feeling is probably not that important, right? And you gotta think about stuff like that when you close people off or shut the doors on people, right? Because they hurt you so bad. What is saying in the 4 agreements? Don't take it personally, right? You don't have to take it personally. One of my clients told me I had to reach back to my childhood to pinpoint why I felt unloved and unworthy. My paternal grandmother set the tone for this feeling. I realized she treated me differently because she didn't like my mother. I had to forgive her, even though she passed on already. I realized I was always worthy and always lovable. She was broken, not I. The Bhagavad Gita describes three gunas, or modes of life: tamas, rajas, and sattvas, which represent ignorance, impulsivity, and goodness. I have found that these three modes can be applied to any activity. For example, when you pull back from a conflict and look for understanding, it's very useful to try to shift from Raja's impulsivity and passion to Sattva, goodness, positivity, and peace. These modes are the foundation of my approach to forgiveness. Okay? Transformational forgiveness. Before we find our way to forgiveness, we are stuck in anger. We may even want revenge to return the pain that a person has inflicted on us. An eye for an eye. Revenge is the mode of ignorance. It's often said that you can't fix yourself by breaking someone else. Monks don't hinge their choices and feelings on others' behaviors. You believe revenge will make you feel better because of how the other person will react. But when you make your vindictive play and the person doesn't have the response you fantasized about, guess what? You only feel more pain. Revenge backfires. When you rise above revenge, you can begin the process of forgiveness. People tend to think in binary terms. You either forgive someone or you don't forgive someone. But, as I will suggest more than once in this book, there are often multiple levels. These levels give us leeway to be where we are, to progress in our own time, and to climb only as far as we can. Right? On the scale of forgiveness, the bottom, though it is higher than revenge, is zero forgiveness. I am not going to forgive that person no matter what. I don't want to hurt them, but I'm never going to forgive them. On this step, we are still stuck in anger and there is no resolution. As you might imagine, this is an uncomfortable place to stay. The next step is conditional forgiveness. Okay, conditional forgiveness. If they apologize, then I'll apologize. If they promise to never do it again, I'll forgive them. This transactional forgiveness comes from the mode of impulse driven by the need to feed your own emotions. Research at Luther College shows that forgiving appears to be easier when we get or give an apology. But I don't want us to focus on conditional forgiveness. I want you to rise higher, right? The next step is something called transformational forgiveness. This is forgiveness in the mode of goodness. In transformational forgiveness, we find the strength and calmness to forgive without expecting an apology or anything else in return. There is one level higher on the forgiveness ladder: unconditional forgiveness. This is the level of forgiveness that a parent often has for a child. No matter what that child does or will do, the parent has already forgiven them. The good news is, I'm not suggesting you aim for that. What I want you to achieve is transformational forgiveness. Okay? Peace of mind. Forgiveness has been shown to bring peace to our minds. Forgiveness actually conserves energy. Transformational forgiveness is linked to a slew of health improvements, including fewer medications taken, better sleep quality, and reduced somatic symptoms, including back pain, headache, nausea, and fatigue. Forgiveness eases stress because we no longer recycle the angry thoughts, both conscious and subconscious, that stressed us out in the first place. In fact, science shows that in close relationships, there's less emotional tension between partners when they're able to forgive each other, and that promotes physical well being. In a study published in a 2001 edition of the journal Personal Relationships, 68 married couples agreed to have an 8-minute talk about a recent incident where one spouse broke the rules of the marriage. The couples then separately watched replays of the interviews, and researchers measured their blood pressure. In couples where the victim was able to forgive their spouse, both partners' blood pressure decreased. It just goes to show that forgiveness is good for everyone, right? And then when you get to putting it like how he's saying it now, stress kills, right? Don't nobody got time for diabetes and all, high blood pressure and all of this stuff, because we over here blowing a gasket in our mind, right? Lighting a fire in our mind and think nothing is even really going on, right? We creating this whole big volcano for what, right? Don't do that to yourself. Love yourself more. Treat yourself better than that. Treat yourself how you would want someone else to treat you. Giving and receiving forgiveness both have health benefits. When we make forgiveness a regular part of our spiritual practice, we start to notice all of our relationships blossoming. We're no longer holding grudges. There's less drama to deal with. Okay, we got to try this. Try this on page 42. Ask for and receive forgiveness. In this exercise, we try to untangle the knot of pain and or anger created by conflict. Even if the relationship is not one you want to salvage or have the option of rebuilding, this exercise will help you let go of anger and find peace. Before you start, visualize yourself in the other person's shoes. Acknowledge their pain and understand that it is why they are causing you pain. Then write a letter of forgiveness. Okay? Number one, list all the ways you think the other person did you wrong. Forgiving another person honestly and specifically goes a long way toward healing the relationship. Start each item with, I forgive you for. Keep going until you get everything out. We're not sending this letter, so you can repeat yourself if the same thing keeps coming to mind. Write everything you wanted to say but never had a chance. You don't have to feel forgiveness. Yet, when you write it down, what you're doing is beginning to understand the pain more specifically so that you can slowly let it go. Number two, acknowledge your own shortcomings. What was your role, if any, in the situation or conflict, right? Take accountability. List the ways you feel you did wrong, starting each with the phrase, please forgive me for. Remember, you can't undo the past, but taking responsibility for your role will help you understand and let go of your anger towards yourself and the other person. When you are done with this letter, this is number 3. When you are done with this letter, record yourself reading it. Most phones can do this. Play it back, putting yourself in the position of the objective observer. Remember that the pain inflicted on you isn't yours. It's the other person's pain. As Wayne Dyer once wrote, When you squeeze an orange, you get orange juice. When you squeeze someone full of pain, pain comes out. Instead of absorbing it or giving it back, if you forgive, you help diffuse the pain. Okay? Forgiveness is a two-way street. It takes two, baby. Okay. Forgiveness is a two-way street. Forgiveness has to flow in both directions. None of us is perfect. And though there will be situations where you are blameless, there are also times when there are missteps on both sides of a conflict. When you cause pain and others cause you pain, it's as if your hearts get twisted together into an uncomfortable knot. Ugh, imagine that, right? When we forgive, we start to separate our pain from theirs, right? We start untwisting that knot that this web that we've weaved. We start to undo it. We start to separate our pain from theirs and to heal ourselves emotionally. But when we ask for forgiveness at the same time, we untwist together. This is a bit trickier because we're much more comfortable finding fault in other people and then forgiving it, right? We're not used to admitting fault and taking responsibility for what we create in our lives because we know no matter what happened, it was something that we attracted to us. That's the only way it had any power to exist in our experience, right? No matter if we thought about it consciously or subconsciously, some way it made its way into existence, right? So we're not used to admitting fault and taking responsibility for what we create in our lives. We like to put it off on the other person first, right? We want them to apologize first. Okay, so forgiveness is a two-way street. Be brave enough, be strong enough, be aligned enough, right? Aligned enough with who you are and with your purpose to be able to identify these things and start untwisting these knots with people, right? You want that rope to be straight, right? You don't want the energy to have to be twisting around to find you. No. Whatever I need it to be able to get right to me, right? I don't need no knots, no nothing twisted. Okay. Forgiving ourselves. Sometimes when we feel shame or guilt for what we've done in the past, it's because those actions no longer reflect our values. Now, when we look at our former selves, we don't relate to their decisions. This is actually good news. The reason we're hurting over our past is because we've made progress. We did the best we could then, but we can do better now. What could be better than moving forward? We're already winning. We're already crushing it. When we wrap our heads around the fact that we can't undo the past, we begin to accept our own imperfections and mistakes, forgive ourselves, and in doing so, open ourselves up to the emotional healing we all yearn for, right? We all yearn for it. Why are we yearning for emotional healing? Because we want to be able to control our emotions. We want to be able to not be affected by the outside things that's happening because we know this too shall pass, right? This too shall pass. I choose to be happy. This too shall pass. I choose to be free, right? Not mentally in bondage mentally. Okay. So on page 43, we got another try this. Forgive yourself. The exercise above can also be used to forgive yourself. Starting each line with I forgive myself for, list the reasons you feel angry at or disappointed in yourself. Then read it out loud or record it and play it for yourself. Bring out the objective observer and find understanding for yourself, letting go of the pain, right? All right. Let me take a sip. Elevate. Elevate. hope y'all still doing good, still with me. Drop me something, y'all. Drop me something in this chat. Let me know you still here, you still watching. So grateful for y'all. Elevate, okay? The pinnacle of forgiveness, true sattva, is to wish the person who caused you pain well, right? And if I remember correctly, sattva was goodness. I became a Buddhist because I hated my husband. That's not something you hear every day. But Buddhist nun and author of When Things Fall Apart, Pema Chodron, is only kind of kidding. After her divorce, she went into a negativity spiral where she entertained revenge fantasies because of her husband's affair. Eventually, she came across the writings of Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche, a meditation master who founded Naropa University in Boulder, Colorado. In reading his work, she realized that the relationship had become like a malignant cell. Instead of dying off, her anger and blame were causing the negativity of the breakup to spread, right? So malignant. That's when they identify a tumor as malignant. That means it's spreading, right? It's cancerous. It's toxic. She now refers to her ex-husband as one of her greatest teachers. If you want the negativity between yourself and another person to dissipate, you have to hope that you both heal. You don't have to tell them directly, but send the energy of well-wishing out into the air, right? So you ain't got to say it to their face, but affirm it on their behalf, right? To the universe. Let the universe work it out. You don't got to try to figure it out. Let the universe handle that. And it's so good to know that we have that type of support, right? To work out things on our behalf, and we don't even have to do anything. And we can just do what we were sent here to do. Be happy, be free, be a light, be abundant, be blessed, right? To have life more abundantly. Okay. So you don't have to tell them directly, but send the energy of well-wishing out into the air. This is when you feel most free and at peace because you're truly able to let go. Negativity is a natural part of life. We tease and provoke, express vulnerability, connect over shared values and fears. Okay? It's a natural part of life, right? It's hard to find a comedy show that isn't based on negative observations. But there is a line between negativity that helps us navigate life and negativity that puts more pain out into the world. You might talk about the problems someone else's child is having with addiction because you are scared that it will happen to your family and hoping to avoid it. But you also might gossip about the same issue to judge the family and feel better about your own. Okay? To judge them and feel better about your own. Ellen DeGeneres sees the line clearly. In an interview with Parade magazine, she said that she doesn't think it's funny to make fun of people. The world is filled with negativity. I want people to watch me and think, I feel good, and I'm going to make somebody else feel good today. This is the spirit in which monks have fun. We are playful and laugh easily. When new monks arrived, they often took themselves too seriously. I know I did. And the senior monks would have a twinkle in their eyes when they said, steady now. Don't waste all your energy on your first day. Whenever the priest brought out the most special sacred food, which was sweeter and tastier than the simple food we ordinarily ate, the younger monks would joke, wrestle to get to it first, and if someone fell asleep and snored during meditation, we would all glance at one another, not even trying to hide our distraction. We needn't reduce our thoughts and words to 100% sunshine and positivity, right? We need not reduce our thoughts and words to 100% sunshine and positivity. We are not seeking perfection here, y'all. That's not what we're doing, right? But we should challenge ourselves to dig to the root of negativity, to understand its origins in ourselves and those around us, and to be mindful and deliberate in how we manage the energy it absorbs. We begin to let go through recognition and forgiveness. We spot, stop, and swap, observe, reflect, and develop new behaviors to replace the negativity in our lives, always striving towards self-discipline and bliss, right? Striving towards self-discipline and bliss. To do the things to operate this vehicle in a way that's going to positively serve us, right? We didn't know how to do it before, but now that we know, it's our responsibility, it's our obligation to operate this vehicle in the best way possible. If you got a brand new car, you putting the gas in that baby, right? You're not just going to put the regular unleaded. You're going to, whatever it costs, whatever the best is, because you're the best, right? So treat yourself like the best. Self-discipline yourself like the best, right? Don't do what the crowd does, right? Okay. When you stop feeling so curious about others' misfortunes and instead take pleasure in their successes, you're healing. Okay? When you stop feeling so curious about others' misfortunes and instead take pleasure in their successes, you're healing. The less time you fixate on everyone else, the more time you have to focus on self. Okay? The less time you fixate on everyone else, the more time you have to focus on self. Negativity, as we've discussed, often arises from fear. Next, we will explore fear itself, how it gets in our way, and how we can make it a productive part of life. Okay, so that's it, family. That's it for chapter 2, all about negativity. Every single read, I feel like I learned so much, and I love the fact that our minds are so expansive, right? We can never have enough information. We can never have enough knowledge. It'll never be a point where we say, okay, I can't learn that no more. I can't learn again, right? I can't do it. So we will pick up Monday fresh with chapter 3. It's all about fear. We're going to start talking about the fears. Over the weekend, though, I do want you guys to take the time, if you have the book, to go ahead and do the try this, right? Do the action steps. Do the action steps. They are an intricate part of all of this, right? It's not enough to just be present. Like, you have to work. Faith without works is dead. So we have to be willing to do this stuff. And even if you don't have the book, I think y'all actually do have the book. But if you don't, go back and watch the read. If you can't take notes, let me know which one you want to do, right? I'll go back. I'll send it to you personally. If you serious about changing, about growing, you seeking self-mastery, self-awareness, and you want to participate, just let me know, okay? I will definitely get you what you need, get the resources that you need so you can be able to take advantage of this awesome situation with us, right? So yeah, that's it. That's it for today. I'm super excited, super happy that this is our very first pre-recorded live for Friday. I will be working tomorrow, serving in another aspect of myself, my purpose, delivering babies at the hospital, being a light, right? Helping bring life into the world. And that's all I want to do all the way across the board. That's the point of this book club. I want to help raise the frequency of the vibrations of humanity, of the planet, just to start making things be the way I know that they can be, right? To start making things be happier and freer and lighter, okay? So protect your energy today. Protect your peace today. Happy Friday, right? Once again, don't let nobody stress you out. Don't let nobody project their negativity onto you, project their fears onto you. Be extra kind. And I always tell y'all to be extra kind to everybody else. But this weekend, be kind to yourself, okay? If you doing these this is like I told y'all earlier, I did them. And, it brings out a lot of emotions because you really have to think. And it's causing you to think in ways that you haven't really been trained to think, or you had to think. Because a lot of the things that we've done in life, somebody told us to do it, right? From the parents, the teachers, whatever. The work that we completed in school, somebody told us to do that. So nobody is telling you to do this, but it's for self-discipline and it's for self-mastery. So be kind to yourself, okay? Don't be so critical of yourself or judgmental of yourself. Treat yourself the way you would want someone else to treat you, right? Because we expect the best and nothing less from others. So treat yourself like that today, y'all. I am your sister in love. I am your sister in light. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about the read. Let me know what you thought about the pre-recorded live. Let me know what you thought about the background. Tag a friend, like this video, and I will see y'all on Friday, on Monday. It's Friday tomorrow, but I will see y'all on Monday, okay? All right, I love y'all. I am your sister in love and in light. I'm grateful, y'all. I'm so happy. All right. Have a good day.